All right, it's that time again for Ball Chat with Kenny on Impact Africa Television and Impact Business Radio 92.5 FM. This is where we give you the best and the latest stories going around in the world of basketball. Today on the program, like I always do for some of the editions, I have a special guest, and this time I'm going to America. Coach Kallhoff. Aaron Kallhoff is a popular and a veteran coach when it comes to American basketball, and he's also known globally for his efforts when it comes to the game of basketball. A veteran collegiate coach with more than 2 decades of experience as an assistant and head coach, enters his second season as the head coach of Sacramento State women's basketball program in the 2024-2025 season, named to the post in April of last year. He is the seventh head coach in the program's Division One history right there. And of course, he's one man who has done a whole lot when it comes to the game of basketball. He's also, he's had players who are playing in the WNBA. The Sudanese player, Abugak, is one of the names right there. All right, it's time to bring him on board, our coach Aaron Kallhoff. And by the way, I am Kenny Bamidele. Coach Aaron Kallhoff, welcome to this edition of Watch Out with Kenny. How you doing?
Great, Kenny. I'm excited about this. When you reached out, I've been looking forward to having this discussion and getting to be able to get on here and talk.
But let's talk about this right now. You've coached at various levels, from junior to college, to Power 5 program. How has this diverse experience shaped your coaching philosophy? Let's talk about that.
Yes, it's shaped it because it allows me to connect with players from all over. Been fortunate to coach kids from players when I was on the guys and girls side from 19 different countries. I take pride in being able to connect with them, no matter where they're from, no matter what their upbringing. I just like to connect. And so that diverse experience has allowed me to do so. To now that I'm running my own program, I can really rely on my relationships and my connections to build a really good program here at Sacramento State.
That's really good. Now, what motivated you to take up the head coach position at Sacramento State? What was the motivation to take up that role?
So David Patrick and I worked together. He was on the men's side. I was on the women's side at TCU. He was the head men's coach here at the time at Sacramento State. And he said, "Hey, we have a head women's job open, and I think you would be really good for it." They want somebody that can recruit internationally, and so it looked like a great fit. I've got 3 kids of my own, and my family and my wife, they really like this community.
That's good too. And just going to ask, have you worked with Nigerian players before? And if yes, who are these players?
Yeah, so when I was a women's coach at Hill College, John Odo was there as a men's player, 6'10". But I've had 11 Nigerians on the women's side from Amy Okonkwo. Yeah, so I coached her at TCU. She's very special to me. She played very well in the Olympics, and I've had Salape Amason, I've had Olo Okumulafe, I've had Carol Willie. I've had 11, and it's each one of them present an amazing relationship. I've had Faustina Fua when I was at LSU that got drafted by the Las Vegas Aces. So there's a lot of them that are Nigerian born but live in the U.S. Whether it be Houston, Dallas, LA. I've been fortunate. I think I'm at 8 different African countries. I've currently got a Gambian on my team right now. I just like what they bring to the table, whether it be a Duke Bulgak from South Sudan. I've recruited from Senegal, Mali, Egypt. I just really like the kids when they come over here, and they're just great human beings as well as great players.
That's very good. But I'm just going to ask, how about Amy Okonkwo? How was it like working with Amy Okonkwo?
Amy Okonkwo is one of the best human beings there are, but she also has a unique game. Can step out on the perimeter, shoot, really high IQ. But Amy's got a heart of gold too. She's like a daughter to me. My family loves her, and so she was a joy to coach. And I've really loved seeing her have a lot of success.
Yeah, she's one of the top players when it comes to African basketball right now. And of course, doing well for Borges in the French Women's Basketball League. How about Sholakwe Amuso? She was called up to the camp of the Tigers of Nigeria, yes, at the pre-Olympics, preparing for the Olympics. She was called up to the camp, but didn't get to join the final roster. But what can you say about Sholakwe Amuso's personality?
Uh, Great human, high character, really good heart. She likes to service. I really see her being one that's going to give back to the country of Nigeria, but also give back to a lot of the youth coming up because she does have a very good heart and she does
Yeah.
have a very good personality to really relate and connect with people.
Okay, that's good. Now, just to ask, what is the most embarrassing thing that has ever happened to you during a game or practice?
Well, I got a couple. The other day I hopped in a defensive drill and I broke my foot. So like, yeah,
Mm.
so I have a boot right now, but also I had
Okay.
a a problem with a tooth that had got knocked out from playing basketball. So in the midst of it getting fixed, I was coaching and the temporary tooth came popping out in the middle of the game. And my team looked at me, my players looked at me like, Coach, what in the heck? And I was missing missing one of my teeth. So
Yeah.
I try to be my own self, but there's a lot of embarrassing moments maybe for some people, but I kind of embrace it when something funny happens.
Good. If you were into basketball coach, what would be your dream job?
What would be my dream job? I
Yeah.
think, I'd love to be a pilot. I'd like to be flying airplanes. I
Okay.
also like to be a real estate developer and build shopping centers and stuff like that. So I think my dream job is coaching, and that's why I do it. But if I didn't, I would enjoy, there's a lot of different things I enjoy.
All right. Now, you've been recognized as one of the most impactful high, major assistant coaches. What do you think sets you apart in this regard?
My ability to recruit. I've been able to go get a lot of signed top rated recruiting classes. So I think that's what separates me. Plus, I'm a relentless worker that likes to just try to outwork people and lead it to success.
Okay, I was just going to ask about, a certain WNBA player, and that is Sabrina Ionescu. She had what might go down as one of the greatest shots in the history of not just WNBA, but basketball. What do you think about the talent level of Sabrina?
Oh, her mindset and her IQ for the game, and I've been following her for a long time and very familiar with her. She is
Yeah.
an elite player, but she is an elite basketball IQ thinker too. That's what separates her, and that's what makes her special is she doesn't just impact the game scoring. She can do it off of her passing. She can do it off of her ball handling. She has all the intangibles.
Right. So, how about the best advice you've received from a basketball coach?
Best advice is love on your players, care about them because they'll work hard for you when you care about them. And then also, things are never as bad as they seem, and they're never as good as they seem. So always just stay consistent with your approach and your work ethic, and good things can happen.
Right. Your players, have they at any point given you a nickname?
Corn. No, one of my when I was playing in college, they called me Corn because I was from Nebraska, and that Nebraska's the Corn Huskers. So I don't have a
Okay.
lot of my nickname is AK. Everybody calls me AK. Some people say AK-47, but I haven't had a lot of nicknames.
AK-47 is quite scary though. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. All right. If you could choose any NBA or WNBA player, past or present, to join your coaching staff, who would that be and why?
If it was a WNBA player, it'd be Tamika Catchings. If it was an NBA player, it'd be Tim Duncan. I just love their work ethic and their approach to the game and how they went about business. They've been the consummate professionals through their work ethic, through being a great teammate, and through and how they're able to lead their teams to success.
Now that's pretty interesting too. How about your go-to pre-game meal or snack before a game? What is that meal that you take before a game that you love to take before a game?
I think it's a snack. I love peanut M&Ms. I eat a lot of peanut M&Ms and I have it, and then I have to have my I have a certain drink that I drink beforehand. But as far as eating, it's usually pasta or salmon.
When I'm talking about the players you've worked with before, what is that challenge you always face working with players, past or present? What is that challenge, and how do you overcome this challenge?
Being able to connect with them and get the most out of them. And I use it as a challenge, but it's something that I get fascinated with is how can I make them their best self? So, it depends on, every kid's different, every player's different, and the ability to connect with them is going to be important because that will lead to the overall team success if the player is able to achieve their highest standard.
Now let's come down to the continent of Africa and talk about the talents we have on the continent of Africa. I have to confess that we have loads of basketball talent. Just in Nigeria, the place I am, at times I do go to the stadium, the basketball court, I see loads of basketball talent, Shige. And I know that's the reason why you've worked with loads of African players in past and present. But what is that unique quality that you find in African players that other players doesn't have?
Yeah, it's the willingness to work. They're athletic, but they're also willing to work. They look at coming over here playing in the US as a challenge and as a dream for a lot of them. And so their willingness to work is probably the biggest lead to their success. Because I've recruited and coached post players,
Yeah.
guards, wings, all sorts of stuff. But the one thing they all have in common is they like to work really, really hard to be a great teammate and to be a great player.
Okay. In the NBA, who is the best handler? A lot of people talk about Kyrie Irving, how his level, his handles level is so ridiculous with what he does so quick, and before you know, the ball is in the basket. Some talk about AI, Allen Iverson, during his days, that he's also got the handles too. But for you, past or present, who is the best handler for you in the National Basketball Association?
Oh yeah, it's I think you can throw Steve Nash in there all the time. I think you can throw Chris Paul in there too. He's just not as flashy. You've already mentioned Kyrie. There's been some really, really good people that just had the ball on a string. You could go all the way back to Nate Tiny Archibald being somebody way, way back in the NBA. But there's some really good elite ones. Jason Kidd was more just a power, but he still had really, really good handles. So, there's just a couple to mention. There's been some good ones though. But Kyrie is probably one of the most dynamic right now.
As a basketball coach, which game that you always think about and you just can't forget in terms of, oh, we just got lucky winning this game? Which game got you on your toes?
Yeah. I was fortunate to win a national title at Trinity Valley as a junior college coach. And that's a game that comes to mind because we did what every team wants to do, and that's cut down nets. But then I've also been on the other side of it where, we had a lead to go to the NCAA tournament when I was at Arkansas State and we lost right at the buzzer. So there's a couple of games just to be in mind. But, I go into every game like it's the national championship. So, I'm looking forward to this season. Hopefully, build some more memories.
Now, you've been in this game for 20 years, more than 20 years, and that is a whole lot, which means that you are in the same bracket with LeBron James when it comes to longevity. Now, I just want to ask, yeah, 20 years is a long time. When we had the likes of MJ, we had Scottie Pippen, we had rest in peace Kobe Bryant, we had the likes of D Wade dominating basketball right at that time. But now the transition, how are you able to cope with the transition from the old basketball and the new school basketball? How have you been able to cope with that transition, and how have you been able to put that into your coaching?
Yeah, you got to adapt. You got to adjust. Old school can still exist in new school. You just have to be able to approach your players in the right way and talk to them. and communicate. Because the game is changing.
Yeah.
The coaching is changing, but over the years, that's the one thing that I've really taken a lot of pride in is being able to connect with my players because they know I truly care about them. So when I do coach them hard, they know it's coming from that I care about them and that's what's best for them to help them achieve.
And if you're to advise young and aspiring basketball players right now who, yeah, they want to be great, they want to be LeBron, they want to be Steph, what advice would you give to them right now?
Put in the work, put in work every day. Don't take days off. Just get after it, really perfect your craft, and do everything you can to give yourself a chance to be successful. Whether it be do extra conditioning, other extra weightlifting, extra getting extra shots up, doing extra ball handling, do all the extra. So whatever the other people are doing, you do more.
Oh, that's really good to know. And talking about Nigeria, basketball, I don't know. Aside the players you've worked with, what do you think of Nigerian basketball?
I think it's a great country for basketball. I think there's a lot of boys, girls, men, women that really can play this game. And I think some of them, they just need the opportunity. They just need somebody to believe in them. They need somebody to give them the resources to do so. And so I do have a lot of respect and I love Nigerian basketball.
Well, that's a really, really good. Now, I think at this point I have to, bring this chat to an end. We've had such a nice time discussing about your career and, of course, other interesting topics right there. But just one more thing. Um, the GOAT debate. Do you like to go into the GOAT debate?
Oh, the GOAT debate. Yeah, I'm all about the GOAT debate. And
Okay.
it's Michael Jordan and it's no ifs, ands, or buts because he's been able to win against some of the classics and the greatest. And he's also been able to maintain the edge. Uh, Michael's in a room in a league of his own.
Okay, that's really good. So I must say thank you very much, Coach Aaron Kallhoff, for joining me today on Board Chat with Kenny on Impact Africa Television and Impact Business Radio 90.5 FM. Thanks for joining me.
Kenny, you're amazing. Thank you.